So here we are again. In our last video, we added the functionality that we can see all the list of previous values in our app. Nice. But now let's do something new. Let's rotate it. Whoa, what happened? My list is gone. This is 0. This is also reset. Whoa. Generate a new coin list and rotate it back. Oh no, and it's gone again. And if you read the theory, you know why that happens. Because our fragment is rebuilt every time we rotate our screen. And rebuild means it resets all the values here, and we set the counter to 0. And that's exactly what happens here. And you also know the solution for that. It's called a Viewmodel. Now let's add that to our code. Actually, there is something with the ViewModel stuff, but that's not very nice, and so I boldly just comment it out. So we comment out this function here. Okay, little typo here. And we comment out this one here. Now there's a nicer way to add view models to our fragment. And I'm going to use that to also show you a little bit what's going on when you click that build my app thing. So let's go to the left side here. And it might be closed for you, these Gradle scripts here. So let's expand that. And there's one build.gradle. There are two actually. One is for the whole project and one is for the module, for the app. Let's have a look at that file. At the moment, interesting stuff is down here. So how does the Android app get all the basic functionalities? We explicitly can tell it, here's a new thing, please add that to my app. So this is kind of a library. And there are lots of cool libraries around which can be added here. And one of these libraries is the fragment KTX library. And we're going to use that to implement our ViewModel in a slightly different way. So it already says here, we have the dependencies. Now that looks exactly like the thing we've seen before. Here is written something like Kotlin, so I'll just copy that. And I give you a link to that website below. Let's copy that. And add this. Okay, we have a problem here. It says fragment version, nothing found. Let's go back to the website. Here's something with fragment version. So let's copy that over. And now we're happy. But we can't restore the app anymore. And that's because we just changed something really basic. We added some new functionality. And so it tells us sync now. We don't want to ignore these changes. So you can either click sync now, or you can click this beautiful Gradle elephant here. So let's click the elephant. What you can't see, because I'm sitting in front of it, what's behind me, but you can see that on your screen is that now Kotlin downloads from the internet all the information behind this app. Then it rebuilds the whole project. So let's wait till this is done. Okay, nice. Let's go back to our fragment and add our ViewModel. And you see it already asks us whether we want the main view model. Now comes the neat thing, we can just load that by activity view models. And we can delete the type for the moment. So, whoa, why did it know that we have a main view model? Look over here. So we have the main fragment. And when we generated our project, remember I told you to choose fragment and view model. So the IDE directly automatically generated is stuck for the view model over here. So let's open that one. You see that there is more or less nothing in there, free for us to fill. As usual, move that to the right so we can see the fragment. Let's close that one. The fragment and the view model. Now we've seen, let's start with the number list. Each time we rotated the screen, the number list is rebuilt. So let's move this definition from the fragment over to the view model. And now obviously we get an error here because there is no number list anymore, but we can use the view model number list by asking for the model dot number list and add it to this one. And we also want to display that one here. So it's not the number list of the fragment, but it's the view model dot number list. And see what happens now. Let's rebuild while. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's generate some numbers. And now let's turn the screen to see what happens. Dang, the numbers are still gone. So what happens if you generate a new one? Ah, the list is there, but it's not shown. So let's rotate it back. Gone again. Generate a new number, and here we have the full list. So that means the full list is still there, but just is not shown directly after we rotate it. And that gives us a hint what we have to do. So let's go back to our code. We update the we update the view where we show the list here. And that is within the listener of the button. So we update it only when we click the button, and that is what we've seen. So what we have to do is obvious. We have to copy this line out of the set on click listener. So let's do this. Move it up here. Okay, now we have a problem that we don't have the random text field outside of the set on click listener. So let's move that one. This one above the moved line. And now that's fine. So let's see what happens now. Let's restart the app. Let's again generate some numbers. Rotate the screen and keep fingers crossed. And there it is. We still have our list. We can add new numbers to it. Rotate it back. And we are still here. Nice. So we solved that problem. Now there is still something in which I don't like, and that is we have parts of the logic, rolling the dice, adding it to a list in our fragment. And I would prefer to have it in the view model so that we can clearly separate the logic, what is done from the way how we present our data. So let's generate a new function here. That doesn't take input. And we generate a new number. And we do that by this function here. So let's move it here. And we get an error because we don't have a dice here. Fair enough. We have it here. So let's also move that one to the ViewModel. And now this side is fine. Here's some node. Okay, we can make it private. That's nice. You see how it is separated, only accessible in the ViewModel. We go back here and we still have a problem because we took that one out here. And to make it even further, we put the part where we add the new number to the number list also into the ViewModel. Number list dot add new number. And we now can delete this line here, but still have to generate the new number. And we can do that now by just calling the roll dice function in the ViewModel. And you see, we just call it here. All the magic is happening in the ViewModel, and we then just read a value from the ViewModel. Now let's see whether that works. Generate our numbers. Okay, that works. Now let's rotate the screen. Phew, we still have it. Add some more, rotate it back, and we're happy. Now if you go back to the source code, you see that the counter is still in the set on click listener. And that is why it's set to 0 each time we rotate the screen. And this is kind of your homework. Extract the counter variable into the ViewModel as we did before with the number list. But I think we got pretty far now because we now can rotate the screen. We keep our information independent of what we do with the screen, and that is pretty nice. And I think we can stop here and happy coding.